Hey guys, long time no see. You guys busy? Do you want to go hike the long trail? I got nothing going on. Let's go. Hello from the long trail. So, we're back. I finished the AT about 2 weeks ago, and a few things have happened since then. I went home, moved in with my boyfriend, and it's been really fun. And then I got a job. I am full-time employed beginning in mid-October, which means I have a nice little stretch before I start my full-time job, which means I can come out here and finish the LT. The Appalachian Trail coincides for about like 100 miles with the long trail and then diverges at the main junction, which we saw back there. So here, from this point on, I am on the long trail, going to follow it about 170 miles north to Canada, and I have about 12-ish days to do it. Right now I have about 3 days food. I was dropped off at the trailhead at Route 4 by my friend Peanut, who lives in Burlington. She is amazing. I met her through Worm Queen. They hiked together a couple of years ago, and she came back out to do a section with Worm Queen maybe like 2 months ago, and I met her actually right around here at the inn at Long Trail. So crazy, actually, that this is where she dropped me back off, now that I think about it. But she picked me up at the airport, generously loaned me some gear so I could stay warm, because we have a couple of very cold nights coming up. And now I'm back on trail by myself. Feels so good to be back out here. And I'm very, very excited to see the challenges of the long trail that are ahead of me. Because, there's going to be some climbs. There's going to be some cold. It is September, and it is not hot in the mountains anymore. And, yeah, I got to get my trail legs back. So, when I started my AT hike, I set some intentions for the thru-hike, and obviously this is not a 6-month hike. This is a 12-day hike, but I still think that it is valuable to set some intentions and to finish out the long trail with some purpose. So, some intentions for the hike is to really enjoy the solo nature time and use this time to reflect and think about some lessons I learned on the AT, and what better place to do it than out here. Another intention is to embrace the physical challenge. I definitely do not have my trail legs the same way I did 2 weeks ago, so to wake up early and to hike late to give my body the time that it needs to overcome these obstacles. And the third thing is to just have fun. I'm going to be working full-time here again shortly, and I cannot wait to tell you guys about the job as soon as I feel comfortable announcing it. But in the meantime, just want to have fun, enjoy backpacking season while it's still here, and enjoy one little last taste of extended freedom while I have it. Oh, and one more intention, and I think this is probably the biggest one. I'd like to use this hike as an opportunity to reflect on how I want to approach reintegrating back into the real world once I actually get off trail and go back to work. I feel like I botched it a little bit coming off trail, or I don't know, maybe I was in the middle of it and I'm cutting it short by coming back out here, but I think I learned some things in the last couple of weeks, and there's some things I wish I would have done before returning home. So I'll talk about that more at length as I have some more insights there. But yeah, just setting an intention to set an intention for when I come home. It is so nice to see white blazes again. I can't even tell you. I didn't even realize how much I'd missed them until I saw the first one that I got on at Route 4. And I was like, oh my gosh, I missed you. Heading up Katahdin to the sign, realizing I was running out of white blazes. It was really surreal. But now, the long trail is also white blazes. So it's like I unlocked more. Good morning from the long trail, day 2. Slept last night in the shelter. There were 2 AT section hike completionists there. I don't know if that's the right way to. They were like section hiker through hikers. There, Mr. Coffee and his brother-in-law, whose name I can't remember. Might have been like Honey Bun or something. But they're really nice, really cool. I'm glad they were there. It was nice to have a couple of folks to talk to about the long trail and the AT. And nice to have some company because I hadn't seen anybody like literally all day. Now I'm on trail. I got on trail about 6:30. There are 3 scenarios that could play out today. The first one is I push 23 miles all the way to the Skyline Lodge, which would be a very big push today. And I don't know if that'll happen, but that's best case scenario, I think. 2 is I get off at Middlebury Gap. Should be about like, I don't know, like a 18-mile day. And I go into town. That's like my worst case scenario. I really don't want to do that. And scenario 3 is I push, I think it's about like 20 miles to the Suckerbrook shelter. I think that one's looking the most likely, but when I get there, I'll just have to take a look and see how warm of a shelter it looks like, because tonight it is going to be cold. It's going to drop down into the low 30s, and with wind chill, like they're saying it's like 20 something mile-an-hour gusts, which would make it like in the low 20s with the wind chill. So today's goal is to stay warm and not die. But I'm feeling pretty good right now. Had to take some ibuprofen because my knees are still a little bit crunchy, but we're moving. Just about in the mid 50s this morning. Nice and cool. Just how I like it. Oh my gosh, a newt! Oh, he's hiding from me. Hey, buddy. I know I was very loud. Oh, I haven't seen one of these in so long. He's so tiny. All right, so this is a view of the cliffs on Mount Horrid. I am about to head right up there. This will be the biggest climb I've had since getting off trail. I think it's going to be about 1,500 feet of elevation gain, and it is going to kick my butt. How cool is that? Peregrine falcon, so you can't hike there. That's so cool. Do you guys know that is the world's fastest bird? Now you know. Great cliffs of Mount Horrid. Pretty great. Very, very cool views. It is so nice to be in the mountains again. I went back to Ohio and I was like, oh my God, it's so flat here. I was like, there's nothing to look at in the landscape. Plenty to look at up here. So we've got a lot of rain coming in this evening. Chance of rain begins around like 1 or 2 p.m. and then really starts to build closer to 5 or 6, about ½ an inch, which sucks because it is going to drop right around freezing tonight, especially at elevation where I will be. So goal today is to move as fast as possible, get to the shelter or all the way to the lodge so that I can stay dry and warm. I have a good number of warm, dry layers, so even if this stuff gets a little damp, I will live, because tomorrow it's going to be sunny, which means I'll be able to dry everything out. But tonight, I just need to not turn it into a big old ice cube. I missed 12 by 12 today by 0.6. That sucks. But I'm still making good progress. So I'm at 11.4 for the day so far. Weather says that rain is going to come in around sometime around 4. So just got to keep hustling. Well, that doesn't look like rain. Hopefully that holds out. These are stinging nettles. They look mean, and they are, because they sting you. I've gotten got a few times already. I hardly know Brooke. So I am here at the Sucker Brook shelter. I've done about 13.4 miles today, and it is only 1 o'clock, so I am killing it. So I'm going to stop, eat some lunch, and then I need to give my left knee some rest because she's tweaking a bit. So I'm going to give her a second to calm down, take a bit more ibuprofen, and then push on. This is a Middlebury Snow Bowl. Pretty nice. Three miles left for the day. Heading to the Boyce shelter. We'll make today a 20-mile day. And rain will be coming in around 5. And I should beat it there. So as long as I keep the pace up, I don't let this 800-foot climb over 3 miles defeat me, I'll be good. Oh, and I just raced the rain here. Started raining at like the 0.3 miles to the shelter line. And it's like not a gentle rain. It is. Let me show you. That is the kind of rain that gets you absolutely soaked. I'm not super dry, but I'll live. Woo! Whew. That was crazy. That was crazy. I took a look at the weather on Apple Weather just for funsies because I knew the rain was going to come in around 5, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get surprised. And it was like rain in 45 minutes. And I was like, ah, I'm like 3 miles from the shelter. So I started running. I sprinted over here. I got to the shelter at 4:30. I think the rain started at like 4:25. 20 miles by 4:30 is 20 miles in 10 hours. That is a strong day with a lunch break. Okay, well, it is just about 4:45 and I'm done. So I'm gonna hang out and I'm gonna use my pot to collect water because it is raining way too hard to go to the water source. And I'm already in my base layers and I'm cozy and I don't want to get wet. I live in the shelter now.
Good morning. I slept so good last night. I'm tucked in here at the boys' shelter. I had it all to myself. It got pretty cold last night. Definitely didn't get down to like the 20s, like Mountain Forecast said was going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was like high 30s, low 40s. Definitely was chilly, especially with the rain coming in and cooling everything down. Right as I got to the shelter last night. But I was nice and cozy, and some of those like little toe warmers stuck to my socks, which was amazing, and I slept super, super good. This is my view. I'll show you guys. Definitely having a hard time getting out of bed this morning because it is so chilly and I'm so cozy. And it rained probably at least until 10 or 11 yesterday. So it was like straight rain from like 4:30 to 11. So I think it's going to be really muddy and really wet out there with how cold it is out right now even. I'm just like not looking forward to getting soaked while hiking and then being cold. So I only have about 16 miles to do today. I can push to 19 if I really feel like it. But since I did the 20 yesterday, I think I might take it easy. And I'm getting a late start this morning. Waiting for things to dry off a bit and for it to warm up. But it's probably about 7 o'clock right now, so I should really start to move.
Beautiful and clear out this morning, but really, really windy. So, got my rain jacket on. This is another added layer of wind protection and got some hot hands going. And just keeping an eye out for, falling branches and stuff like that, because there are a lot of wind makers on this section of trail. So, it's not the most comforting thing, but at least it's not raining. This is the view from the Skyline Lodge. Really, really beautiful. I wasn't gonna make it here yesterday. Obviously the rain hit, so I had no shot of making it here, but That is a beautiful view. And supposedly, way off in the distance, you can see Mount Moosilauke on a perfect day. This is some spectacular fall hiking. It is so nice and cool and crisp. Feels nice to hike in all my layers. Like I'm nice and cozy. And Long Trail hasn't gotten insanely hard yet. I know that's gonna come up here soon. I think in the next day and a half or so. But today I'm gonna begin the climb of my first 4K, Mount Lincoln, and I will summit that tomorrow morning and then head down into Waitsfield so I can resupply. Then the hope is to get right back on trail. But you know me, the plan might change. So I started using these Alani energy sticks. They're 200 milligrams of caffeine. So I'll like throw back half and then take the other half later. But my question is, it says activate with water. Like activate what? The caffeine? Do you think that they put that there so that like teenagers don't snort it? I don't know, just my thought.
It's like, it's early for lunch, but I think we'll,
It's a good spot for it.
I was going to say, I think we'll take it.
It's a good spot for it.
Yeah, we're not going to get another one, so.
Yeah, no views yesterday, just over that lake, I think it was. Yeah. That was
It
nice.
was not much. I love your hat. I keep staring at it.
Oh my gosh. I finally saw other thru hikers. A couple of nobos named Curly Turtle and Flex. They hiked the AT back in, I think it was 2018 or 19. And oh my gosh, we were all just so excited to see other hikers that we just gabbed for a minute. Really, really lovely people. So fun. And I think we're all going to see each other at trail days next year. Or if I'm lucky, I'll see them again on trail because they're doing shorter miles, but they're going to be skipping a couple of sections. So really hoping I run into them again. So nice to talk to other hiker trash. I didn't realize how much I missed that. You know, the community part of the AT is just as much as the trail itself. So I feel like I missed how easy it was to just make a new friend. So yeah, really cool people. All right, stopping at the Cooling Glen shelter to eat some lunch. It's about 1 o'clock. I have done, I think, 9-something miles already today. We're working with about 6 hours of daylight. So I know for a fact I'll be able to make it the total of 16 today, but it'll be interesting to see if I have enough time to do 19 today. But that would involve going up and over Lincoln. I don't know. Seems ambitious. I don't know if I want to push that hard. You know what? Now that I'm saying it, I really don't. But we'll see. I've surprised myself in the past. I'm starting to see more hikers now. After running into Curly, Turtle, and Flex, have seen a few more folks, which is nice. I'm not the only person out here. But while I'm hiking, I definitely am. I barely see anybody. Yeah, I can eat some lunch and get back out on the road. Another nice thing about hiking in the fall is that you're in the big refrigerator, so you don't have to worry if your pepperoni is going bad. I stopped to eat lunch at the Cooling Glen shelter. While I was sitting there, it started to rain a little bit, which I was grateful that I was in the shelter around that time. So waited a little bit longer and then got going and realized my body temp had dropped like quite a bit while I was sitting there eating, which when I was hiking in February and March was something I just got used to, that when you stop moving, you got really cold. And forgotten what that felt like. So I put on all my layers and started hiking, and I was feeling a bit nervous. I was like, is it too cold for me to be out here? Da-da-da-da. And then my body temp went back up the second I started moving. So it's just funny. The kind of lessons that sometimes you just have to relearn once you're back on trail. So feeling good now. I'm up here and the wind is blowing a bit, and I am heading down into Lincoln Gap, and then I'm gonna do most of the climb up to Lincoln today, but I'm just gonna push to the Battelle shelter so that my legs are nice and fresh for the summit tomorrow. And then I can head down into the Appalachian Gap, hitch into town, and get back on. And I'm not overdoing it today. And just like that, 30 minutes later, blue skies and the sun is back out. Sunset Ledges. Too windy to stick around very long, but it is really beautiful. I have another view coming up here shortly. Then I gotta head down to Lincoln Gap, and then I gotta head up to the shelter before it starts to rain again, because it's looking like rain on the horizon. Oh yeah. It's like I'm back in the whites, baby. Let's do some rock scrambling. All right, y'all. Made it to the Battelle shelter. It's about 5 o'clock. That is just about a 16-mile day. Thought about pushing up and over Mount Abraham. Not Mount Lincoln. Mount Abraham. Tonight, but it would be another 3 miles to the next shelter. And there is no water at that shelter, so I'd have to carry all of my water there. And additionally, it has started raining again. So take it all as a sign to stay here. I'm right on track for mileage in order to be done. They need to be done. I'm actually ahead of schedule. So tomorrow morning I'll just wake up early, hike it all the way down to Appalachian Gap, get into town, resupply, get back on trail, and see how far I make it. Hoping to do 14 tomorrow, but with going into town, that seems ambitious. So expecting to push as far as I can. I don't know. Hopefully 12 at least, but probably 10 seems likely. I guess that just depends on how lucky I am with hitches. But yeah, I'm all done. Gonna get cozy and prepare for a very cold night. All right. Dinner tonight. Spicy, sweet and spicy tuna mac in my fancy new Tokes pot. I threw away my enormous family size pot the day before I summited Katahdin because it was beat up and it had had its run. So now I have this cute little guy that I honestly miss my family size pot. That thing was so nice, but this is good too. All right, I'm gonna eat and turn in. It's gonna be close to, if not below freezing tonight. So just gonna try not to die. Good night. Good morning. It's about 7:30. Gonna get up and brave the cold. Definitely dropped below freezing last night for sure. Right around the time I was going to bed, it was like 40 degrees and the sun wasn't even down yet. So, slept pretty well, not terrible.
stayed mostly warm. This is the hard part of the day, is getting my backpack together when it's still cold and I'm not moving enough to stay warm. But it sounds like the wind is massively chilled out from yesterday. Today is supposed to be partly cloudy, whereas yesterday was just cloudy and like annoyingly rainy. So maybe I'll get lucky and get some views on top of Mount Abraham. I just need to move fast enough today that I can get down to the gap and hopefully catch a hitch into town. Okay. Brave little toaster. Let's do it. Just below 40 degrees this morning. Evoking the cardinal sin of hiking in my puffy this morning. Got out later than I wanted to. Got out at 8:30 because I realized as I was packing up my quilt that there was like a bit of a gear malfunction there. My foot box had like busted open in the night, which explains why my feet were so cold. So I had to spend some time this morning repairing that. It took about like 20 minutes. So is what it is. Hoping that there's still enough traffic down at Appalachian Gap that I can catch a hitch. Fingers crossed. Whoa! Oh, that is beautiful. Good morning from Mount Abraham. Not a 4K, just a mountain. But got up here just in time to get the world's smallest view and then get socked in. It is very windy up here above tree line. Very glad that I didn't push up and over here last night because the wind was way whippier than it was this morning. Plus it was raining yesterday and that entire climb up was rock slabs and that would not have been fun. So very glad I decided to just stay with 16 miles yesterday. Got done around 5, which is similar to the time I was done the day before. So all right. All I can think about is getting down to this gap and getting this hitch. I'm worried about timing today. I just took another look at my phone. Mount Abraham is a 4K. I don't know why I got it into my head that it wasn't. Anyway, first 4K down. There's Mount Abraham, totally socked in. There's the view. Okay. I see where I messed up. Mount Abraham is a 4K. This is Lincoln Peak. Lincoln is not a 4K. So I've been messing those up for like the last 2 days. I understand now. Wow. I think that socked in the distance is Mount Ellen or something like that. But that's where I'm heading.
You can hear like racing in the background. So this is the Chairman Lodge, Chairback Lodge. And you can sleep in here if you need to. It's 4 walls, some beautiful windows. That's pretty cool. I kind of wish I would have made it here last night, but is what it is. Extremely sick. Summit of Mount Ellen. Not a ton to see. Got another chairlift that I wish was working. There's a funny little sign here. It says, "Stop burning our deck." Yeah. Another 4K down. Yeah, the walk trail is beautiful. Like you cross all these ski lifts and ski areas, so it's all nice and clear. You get these big crazy views and they're all super steep. So like it's just so cool. It's so cool. And check this out. That's like a bridge. Let's go see. So this is Stark's Nest. There's this beautiful view right next to the chairlift. And then head inside. Reminds me of like one of the huts you'd see at the AMC. So cool. Dang. I hope I get to sleep in one of these huts while I'm on the long trail. This is so sick. Man, these new one-person shelters. I don't know about them. Oh, good. The bog boards are back. Yay. Hey, I remember these things. Never fun to be going down them. Oh, yeah. We are definitely starting to get steeper. That's exciting. All right, so I am descending down into App Gap right now. Try and get a hitch into town, into Waitsfield. This is my first time solo hitching. Let's hope I don't get serial killed. What a whirlwind. A couple of hours. When I tell you, it wasn't even 30 seconds the time I got down to that gap before I got a ride. There was a man named Stefano who had just pulled over to look at the view. I walked up, I was like, "Hey, do you know which way Waitsfield is?" He was like, "That way." I was like, "Trying to catch a hitch." He's like, "You need a ride?" So that worked out perfect. He dropped me off at the Mad Taco. I ate, I had a margarita. It was amazing. Charged all my stuff. Then ran to Shaw's for the resupply while my stuff charged inside. And now I'm back on trail after catching a hitch. Back to trail from a woman named Mary and her 2 kids. Feeling very lucky that that happened. Not so lucky that the climb out of Appalachian Gap is this steep. But rain is coming in. We got like 2 miles 2.5 to get to Birch Glen Shelter Lodge thing. Oh, and you did not get poured on. Also, I want to talk about Stefano, the first guy that picked me up. Really lovely man, super cool. He was a collector of like rare alpine sheep semen. So bizarre. He was a German, like with the whole awesome accent, rare sheep semen collector. So strange, but very nice. He had kids and grandkids. And he actually knew a girl who had just finished hiking the AT. It was very cool. I had to talk about him. He was a total character. Whoa. This is Molly's balcony. Whoa, that is cool. A lot of great views today. It's nice. It's nice to see things again. I like seeing things. Okay. I'm about to descend all the way down to Birch Glen Lodge. It's going to hurt my knees. Let's go. Okay, successfully made it to the Birch Glen Lodge before it started raining. Successfully made it into Waitsfield, hitched in and out without being serial killed. And yeah, I did 11.8 today, which is right on par with what I would expect to do, given I lost a couple of hours today because I had to go into town. So it's what it is. I'll make up those miles here in the next few days. Tomorrow should be a pretty tough day. Luckily not right out the gate, but I do have a pretty tough section, which I'll tell you more about tomorrow when I'm doing it. And I think I do Camel's Hump tomorrow or the day after. I don't know. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But I'm going to hang out. I'm going to make dinner in a bit and wait for this rain to come in. Good night. Good morning. That was kind of aggressive. Good morning. On the road this morning at about 8:30 from the Birch Glen Lodge. Late start because I had to do some hiker laundry. Got some clothes hanging off the back of my pack right now, drying. Also ate a bunch of Cheerios, and you know, once you pop, you can't stop. I was hammering down Cheerios, and all of a sudden it was 8 o'clock. So anyway, a good morning. Today I will be hiking over Camel's Hump mountain. So first I will head up to Ethan Allen Mountain, which is that named after the guy who owns the store? Is that store even called Ethan Allen? I don't know, but going up his mountain, and then after that we'll go down steeply and then up steeply to Camel's Hump, and then down steeply for the rest of the day, where I will camp at the Gleason River, looking for a 15-mile day. I have a road walk, I think first thing in the morning tomorrow, that's like several miles long, and there would be no water, no camping, obviously just along this road. And then the camping options after that are pretty slim. So 15 miles is about as far as I can conceivably get today. And so that is what I will do. All right. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I came out to do the long trail. Like these big rocky climbs. Reminds me of the Whites. Hope I get a lot more of this. All right, so Some people say that the stretch from this past shelter to Mount Clair Glen Lodge is supposed to be really, really difficult, including the climb up Burnt Rock Mountain. And then Camel's Hump will be a pretty steep climb today. So should be a nice challenging day today. I was feeling pretty low energy this morning, probably because all I ate was Cheerios. So I stopped and had a quick lunch at that last shelter. And now I'm going to start the climb. Okay, Burnt Rock. Big climb, but big view. Just how you like it. I think the thing I really like about Vermont, and I remember thinking this when we first got here on the AT, is like how steep everything is. Like all of the mountains feel very, very steep. So it makes it these big grand valleys. It's so cool. Really, really beautiful. And you can see that fall is starting to set in a bit. Some of the yellows and oranges are starting to come in. Fall summit. I'm about 0.2 from the top. That's got to be Camel's Hump in the distance, right? It looks like a Camel's Hump. This is just a ladder. This is a like 20-foot drop and they just put a ladder here. Who hiked this out? This is awesome. That was so scary. At least it's beautiful down here. Views from Ethan Allen. Over there, Burnt Rock. Camel's Hump next. Whew. A lot of climbing today. So today's been really slow going. It's 2 o'clock and I've only done just about like 8 miles. It's not like it's difficult hiking. It's just really steep and really slick. And the parts that aren't slick are like crumbly. So it's just a lot of like really deliberate hiking so that you don't fall and hurt yourself, which is making for some really, really slow miles. So it's 2 o'clock. I have 7.5 more to go today. I'm not moving very fast. I'm pretty low energy because of it. And I'm about to go over Camel's Hump, which is arguably the toughest climb descent combo of the entire hike. So I don't know, feeling a bit apprehensive right now. I'm going to have some caffeine and I just ate some snacks and I'm going to push out of here in 5 minutes. At the rate that I'm going right now, I would get to camp around like 7, which is fine because the sun goes down at 7:30. So yeah, okay. Brave little toaster. Let's do it. saw these signs and I got excited. And then I looked up. I'm nowhere near. This is the trail, please. We're above tree line now. So like, this is what is slowing me down. It's not hard hiking, it's just so slick. It's all wet rock. And it's so time consuming to make sure I don't slip. I've already slipped a few times. I keep catching myself. But it only takes like one time for you to not catch yourself to really get hurt. So moving really slow. Luckily there's a shelter in 3.5 that I can stop at. But I really, really just want to get to 15 miles today. So, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I came from, yo, I got long trailed today. For sure I got long trailed today. This ascent has been crazy. The first stretch down was straight up torture. It's gotten a little easier since then, but it's just like non-stop puds. You like make it all the way down and it's like, psych, go back up. We want to show you a view you've already seen. Like, I like really wanted to make it to Gleason River, and I probably could, but the sun would be going down right as I got there, and it looks pretty steep on the decline, and I don't want to do that in the dark, so I'm just gonna have to eat it tomorrow and do Mansfield tomorrow. Whew. Okay, long trail. I underestimated you. All right, good evening. I made it to the shelter. 13-mile day today, slightly below where I would have liked to have been today. But honestly, I think my energy level was pretty low starting out the day. I'm worried I wasn't eating enough. And honestly, the downhill today took quite a toll on my knees. I did not take ibuprofen early enough, so that was another thing that I did wrong. And then the downhill from Camel's Hump was pretty brutal, very wet, very time consuming. It's not my favorite to come down, pretty treacherous. So the last thing that I did incorrectly today was I did not leave camp until like 8:30. I did not give myself enough time. So given that was one of my intentions of coming out here, I totally failed at that. So I will learn. So tomorrow the plan is to be hiking out by 7 at the latest. So setting the alarm for 6, probably 5:30. But I'm here at the shelter. Very nice man named Shuttle is here. He was just a few weeks behind me on the AT and is now out here doing the long trail. So yeah, about to turn in, starting to get cold, gonna activate my hot hand and crawl into bed. Good night. Goodbye, Camel's Hump. I'll remember you in therapy. Good morning. I am just starting a 3-mile road walk because I'm walking along the Wazooski and there's no way across it except for a bridge, like 2.5 miles up. And then I gotta go to that mountain, which is across the bridge. So I'm gonna yellow blaze this one if I can get lucky. I'm hoping that somebody will drive by and snag me. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Well, that was quick. I got picked up by a woman named Maria who had hiked the long trail like 20 years ago. And she drove by and she stopped and backed up and she was like, I know what it's like to need a hitch. And I told her, I was like, well, it's not a very long hitch. You only need a couple miles. She goes, well, that's not very far. And I was like, I just don't want to walk on the road. A very sweet lady. Really appreciated that. She just saved me a couple miles of road walking. All right, so I'm gonna fill up here at the stream. Got about 9 miles until the next water source today. Straight uphill. We're beginning the climb towards Mount Mansfield today. So gonna camel up, just drank close to a liter of water. Gonna fill her up, and I had one of those like Alani caffeine things for like 200 milligrams of caffeine. Side note, I don't think those work very well. I know I sound caffeinated. I heard myself just now. I sound pretty caffeinated. Okay, so maybe they do work. But they dehydrate you. So chugging some water, gonna fill her up. It's gonna be pretty hot today. It's 10 o'clock and I'm already in my shorts and sports bra. So preparing to cook in the sun while I climb today. So I'm gonna carry as much water as I can up the mountain and prepare for a pretty tough 9 miles. So this is cool. See the enormous mountain in the distance? That's Whiteface Mountain, and I will be there in a few days. Over there, that's the chin and the nose. Some other 4Ks. And I believe that is Bolton Mountain. That's where I'm heading. Taking a break at the Harrington View. Wasp. Moving really slow today. I have 6.5 more miles to get done today. And at an average of 1.3, I'll get there right at 7. Sun goes down at 7:10. 1.3 is really slow, but I'm trying to accommodate for the fact that the other side of Bolton Mountain, which I haven't even summited yet, is going to be really, really steep. But I don't know what's going on. I'm so low energy. My suspicion is these like Alani energy sticks are just like I'm crashing. I'm just like I'm moving like a snail. Like really really low energy. I don't know what's going on. Like even with like a 2.4 mile hitch, I've only done like 12 miles today or 13 miles today. I don't know, I think 11 miles, 2.46. Yeah, so I think I've done like 11, 12. And I feel like I've done 20. I'm wiped. I don't know what's going on. So I might stop at the puffer shelter. Supposedly a really, really beautiful view from that shelter. And I'd still be right on track for my mileage if I were to do that. But with how slow I'm moving, like I'm sort of tempted to push, given I like saved an hour today with that hitch. Like sort of tempted to push and get all the way to the next shelter, do the full 6.5. I have plenty of time to do it. It's just like the will. The will is not there. I normally don't feel like this. Frustrated. Long trail's hard, and like today's not even crazy hard. It's like a pretty steady climb. It's been really cruisy. I really truly, I don't know what's going on with me. I would like for it to stop. I'm moving away from a yellow jacket who's investigating me. God, I'm so mad I got that on video. Stop chasing me. I hate yellow jackets. All right, after 10,000 years, finally made it to the summit of Bolton Mountain. I'm now going to present you with some of my favorite far out comments that I read about this wonderful, wonderful mountain. Okay, it is just about 4:45. I've got 2.2 miles left. Heading to the Taylor Lodge. Feeling better. I've been finding I've been catching a second wind in the evenings, but I'm always working against. Oh, here, hold on. I didn't want to die coming down that ledge. I'm always working against the sun going down at 7, the cold setting in, and the dark setting in earlier than that. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I was gambling on if I could make it down the mountain in time to get to the shelter, make some dinner, get everything set up. And I think that gamble's going to pay off. I'm listening to the album They Might Be Giants, Flood. That is a very strange album. I'm listening to it for the first time all the way through. Heard obviously a lot of They Might Be Giants songs, but that album is very strange and I really like it. So I just have it on repeat and I'm powering through. Glad that my mood has improved now that the day is almost over. Yeah, I never like being in the mental place where all I feel like doing is complaining, but you know what, baby? That's part of the trail. Sometimes the trail hurts. Long trail's hard. It's grueling. And, yeah, that's that type 2 fun. Sometimes it's fun to complain. Sometimes it's not fun to complain, but you still have to complain because it helps. Unfortunately, you guys have to listen to it. Well, at least they put a ladder here for the world's steepest descent. Oy. Oh, man. 552. That was a brutal push. Oh my God. That descent down Bolton Mountain was... I'm alive. All right, just ate dinner at the Taylor Lodge. Today was insane. Today was brutal. I totally underestimated the long trail, like not even a question. I'm the strongest I've ever been, and it is taking it out of me. And I think the craziest thing is that, like, I'm still moving, you know? I've been fighting past this, like, really low energy, and my schedule doesn't allow for zeros, which is just the bag. That's just, like, what I was working with, given my time frame. So I just have to keep pushing. Really proud of myself today. It was a 17-mile day. That's not including the 2.4 mile yellow blaze. That was incredibly crucial in me making it to this lodge tonight. And very, very grateful for that. I got on trail this morning around 7:30, which wasn't as early as I wanted to be on trail, but again, like, no one to blame but me on that. So tomorrow I climb Mansfield. That is the tallest mountain in Vermont, the largest peak I will climb on the long trail. And I've heard that it's very fun. The going up is very, very fun. I've heard the descent is brutal. All of the descents have been brutal, and just very time consuming and take 100% of your mental attention. You cannot stop paying attention for even a second. You know what? Like, I love the challenge, even if it can be frustrating and scary, and exhausting. I mean, it's tough. I'm having a hard time, but I don't quit. That's not what I'm gonna do. Gonna keep pushing. I don't even feel like I'm anywhere near that as an option. Just get a good night's sleep and to keep moving. I did build into my schedule. My flight leaves late in the day, on the last day, and I have it, the way that I'm hiking has it scheduled that hopefully I can get done with the trail on the 16th and then stay at a hostel that night. But if I'm really pushing it and I'm in pain, I have the ability to take an extra night on trail, wake up and finish the miles. So I don't see that being an option just yet. I only have to average, I believe it's 15 miles a day for the next few days in order to finish on the 16th like I've planned. But I am pushing to even get those miles done. The trail really is hard, but I think I'm in the hardest section right now from what I've been told. So just got to get over Mansfield, and then it's Whiteface the day after. And then I think for the most part, I just need to like grind it out and finish it out. I believe it gets less tough from that point on, but I know that I may have just jinxed it. Okay. Today I'm going to be sleeping on a picnic table because Taylor Lodge back there is dark and scary, and I don't want to sleep in the big dark scary room full of mice that I hear crawling around. So I'm gonna sleep on the picnic bench like a true hiker trash, and I've already popped a bunch of ibuprofen, and I'm gonna get to bed. Good night. All right, good morning. Now departing the Taylor Lodge. Thank you to the Taylor Lodge and all of your many critters, rambunctious throughout the night, for your hospitality. I now begin the climb up to Mansfield. Today I will pass over the chin and the nose. I have some very technical climbing on my plate today. Probably the most treacherous that the long trail will get in terms of exposure. But I've been practicing bouldering all the way through New Hampshire, and honestly the last few days. So not crazy worried about it. My backpack is adjusted in such a way that all of my loose items are tucked away, and it is purposefully not too back or top heavy. So now I just got to get up there. All right, so I'm here at the junction for Twin Brooks tenting area. This is really where the climb begins as I head up Mansfield to the chin, and it's gonna be nice and steep. So took off the layers, got the ponytail out to keep nice and cool. Today is gonna be an ass kicker. No time like the present, I guess. Oh, mind, body, spirit. I didn't do that the entire trip. So I'm going to talk about yesterday and today before I start this climb. Yesterday, I'd say I was 6s across the board would have been generous. Really was in pain, was stressed, frustrated with the trail, missing my boyfriend, very hungry. My hiker hunger kicked back in, astonishing. So yesterday was a rough one, but even so, I accomplished a lot. So I'm very proud of myself. Today, feeling much better this morning. Looking forward to some technical climbing. I really enjoy the climbing. It's the descending that sucks. So very excited for this next portion. It's going to kick my butt. I'm probably going to give 8. Body, I'm going to give a 6. My knees are in rough shape, but look at we ball. Spirit. Spirit's going to be a 7. Spirit's going to be a 7. Not too bad, not too good. All right, let's send it. You know what I love to do? I love to eat spiders. I like to walk face first into their webs. I like them all over my face. I like to consume them. First thing in the morning, I like to eat a big bowl of spiders. So, just past Butler Lodge, which means I'm just about halfway there. And it seems as though this is where it's about to get pretty intense. I'll be coming up on the Needle's Eye and the forehead here pretty shortly. And that seems to be the most treacherous part of this climb and arguably of the long trail. So let's see if I die. Okay, I think this is the Needle's Eye. Oh yeah. How cool is that? This is starting to remind me of the Wildcats. You can see there's a ladder that I'm heading towards. Look how cool that looks. I'm guessing that's the forehead up there, maybe? If it's not, I don't know where I could go from here. Oh yeah, that's the trail. That's the exposure. And that's where I just came from. And that's the view. Worth it. Worth all of it. That is up there with the Bigelows for me. That is incredible. Yeah, this is a no-fall zone. Oh my god, this trail is crazy. Holy hell. When one ladder ain't enough. 2 ladders. This this hike is so fun. So terrifying. Bonkers terrifying hike, but like so fun. I would not even begin to consider doing this in the rain or with a dog. Like you couldn't pay me $1 million to try either of those. Mad respect to the people that do both, because I have just my body and I'm like okay, let's get up these ladders. That over there is Bolton Mountain. That's where I spent my entire day yesterday climbing up and down. And it's only been a few hours, I'm already up here. Really goes to show you that doesn't matter how big the mountain is. It matters what route they tell you to climb up, because that was all day and so punishing. Made it to the forehead. Okay, on to the summit. Okay, Mansfield was extremely fun. Definitely one of the more challenging and like potential for things to go wrong hikes I've ever done. Definitely up there with Katahdin in terms of exposure, but really, really fun, super worth it. Now I am down that mountain, getting a climb up the next mountain, heading up to Mid-Downham Peak, I believe it is called. This is my second enormous climb of the day, and I've got 6.6 until I get to camp. Now, I personally would never go in that building because it's very clearly labeled do not enter. So I personally would not walk into an unlocked building and check out what's inside and look around at stuff. I wouldn't do that. Okay, this is Smuggler's Notch Lodge. I am 100% staying here. Are you kidding me? With these views? Got a whole room in here? Yeah, I'm staying. The idea of heading down the mountain now, racing sunset, to stay at a BBS, a basic shelter, when I can watch that sun set over that mountain, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I'm about to make some dinner. I have decided to change the plan. What? Jessica changing the plan? Yeah, I'm gonna change it. So okay, so here's my thoughts. These are like White's level amounts of elevation and de-elevation that I am doing every single day, and it is exhausting and doable. But here's the thing I'll say about it: I don't enjoy doing close to 5,000 feet of elevation gain and loss in the same day, every day, for days. It's not awesome for my body, and I feel like I'm not able to be present in the hike for that reason, because every time I sit down, I'm like, I should be hiking, and that's just like not how I like to do it. And even I got up here and I was feeling guilty. I was like, no, like, don't stop here. You have to make it to Whiteface shelter. How else are you gonna, be finished on the 16th? And here's what I say to that. I don't have to finish on the 16th. I just don't have to do it. This trip isn't about finishing on the 16th. This trip is about enjoying the hike, you know, one last adios to thru-hiking for a minute. And enjoying myself ultimately. Like that's it. Like I came out here to have fun. That's what the backpacking's about. That's what the hiking's about. It should be fun. And killing my knees and running all day and feeling super exhausted and guilty is not how to do a thru hike. So here's the plan change. I'm going to be dropping my mileage down daily to about 13 miles. That is just barely below what I was aiming for, the 14 to 15 mark, but gaining each of like that time every single day gets me here. This was a 13-mile day. I'm done at 5 o'clock. With the amount of elevation gain and loss I was going to have to do in the next couple of hours, I would have gotten to camp at 7. They would have been some super slow miles and they would have eaten up a bunch of my time, and that's just not worth it to me. So I'm going to enjoy this beautiful sunset. I'm going to eat my dinner, and I'm just going to, you know, not feel pressured to hike a bunch when I'm doing it to myself. So that's the plan change. Okay, let's make dinner. This is the inside of the ski lodge. This is the tent that I pitched in the ski lodge to keep the mice from running all over me. Good morning. On my way down from the Smuggler's Notch ski lodge right now. Had a pretty good night's sleep there last night. The mice were definitely rambunctious again, but I had pitched my tent inside because I knew that they were going to be pretty bad, and they were. So I'm glad that I did that, so I knew that they weren't running all over me in my sleep. Heading down the mountain now, heading to Whiteface, which will be my last 4K on the long trail. And with that, I will have officially climbed all of the 4Ks in Vermont, which is really exciting. Just wanted to stop in, pause, and talk about the low cast, because it reminded me about the first time that I saw the low cast, and it was pretty close to the beginning of my Appalachian Trail hike. I want to say like week 1, and I remember just thinking it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen, like an ocean of clouds, and I've seen it so many times since then, but that was the first time I had ever seen it, and it was really magnificent. And I mean, just because you've seen something before doesn't make it any less beautiful, but you know, just nostalgic for that first time. And I mean, this is still pretty beautiful. Okay, that should be my last big climb for the day. Now I just gotta head down the mountain, head to Johnson's Hardware, get my resupply, and then I can go, and it shouldn't be crazy difficult the rest of the day. But first, I have to get down off Whiteface, which will be as fun as the rest of it. Trail to Johnson is so nice and flat. Oh my gosh. I needed flat trail. Holy hell. Last few days have been brutal. The long trails, no joke. Kicking my butt, for sure. But, you know, really makes you appreciate a nice flat trail. I'm going to enjoy this last 4 miles into Johnson. I'm going to stop at the hardware store. I'm going to buy a whole bunch of food because I'm totally out. And I think I only have like 4 miles left for the whole day. So we're plugging along. Thru-hiking is so weird. I am sitting outside of a hardware store in Vermont where I mailed myself a box full of snacks. And I am now sitting on the ground outside of a hardware store eating granola bars in the middle of Vermont. Really just makes you ponder your life choices. Hello from Jenna's Coffee House here in Johnson, Vermont. What happened over the last couple of hours? Sorry, there's a bunch of traffic now. Hold on. I got down to the Gap. I walked to the hardware store. I got my package that Andy, my boyfriend, mailed to me. And then I tried to catch a hitch into town, couldn't catch a hitch for a long minute, so I started walking in, and then a very nice man picked me up in his truck, drove me here into downtown Johnson. My plan originally was to resupply 100% at that hardware store, but really great staff that works there and really awesome camping options, but just not the best like resupply snack situation. So I decided the right move would be to head into town. My body was also telling me that I needed really good food. I've been eating so much processed stuff that I feel like my body has been exhausted and breaking down. So I needed a really good meal. So I came here to Jenna's and I got myself a Vermonster situation, which was like French toast and ham and apples and maple syrup. It was so good. And I've been sitting here, I've been editing, and I have decided that I am not going to hike out of Johnson. Instead, I am going to go resupply at that Dollar General, and I'm going to camp out at Moog's. I decided to camp at Moog's, which is a barbecue joint that is really hiker friendly. They have beer, they let you camp outside. So instead of hiking 4 miles to a random no-name shelter, I'm gonna hang out there and enjoy my night and rest up. I deserve a Nero. I've been hiking really hard. So that's what I'm gonna do.
We've had
Hey. Good morning. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm on the long trail right now. It follows a bike path parallel to the town of Johnson for a little bit to get you back on trail. So that is what I am doing right now. Camped at Moog's last night, which ruled. They are an extremely hiker-friendly bar that allows hikers to camp out back. And I was there with new friends, Mercury and Honky Tonk. They're sisters, and they're really, really cool. They're hiking the long trail. And we just sat around and we drank and ate really good food. Resupplied at the Dollar General. Went to a little farmer's market. Yesterday was really fun. I really, really needed a town day. And to me, that was worth not doing those extra miles. So the next few days will be a little bit tougher of a push, but totally worth it. I needed to sit around and eat and enjoy town life, which is a big part of thru-hiking in the Appalachians. So really, really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. But now getting back on trail, the goal today is a very ambitious 18 miles. I am going to try my hardest to do that, but if not, no problem. Maybe we will stealth somewhere past like mile 16 or something. But we're going to give it a go. Getting there. So close. I am feeling so much better today. I feel much better today. So much better. I guess I'm singing a little song about it. I really needed that town day. Now that I'm back out here, I feel like I'm like actually appreciative of nature again and the walking and my body. I felt like my friend Lone Star worded it well when she was on the long trail. She said she was thinking not so nice things about the trail. I was thinking some not so nice things about the trail. I needed to get off. I needed to hang out in town. I needed some social time. I needed a couple of drinks, some good food. I felt like my body was just breaking down from nonstop processed food, and a couple of really good meals really helped. I feel like my energy levels are much better. I'm resupplied. I have a ton of food, so I'm not worried about not being able to eat enough to sustain myself. So my mental state is just much better, and the trail is much more forgiving than it has been over the last few days. It truly, I'll just keep saying it, it truly felt like hiking through the Whites, and with like main level difficulty, and the views were stunning, and some of the climbs were so fun. But when I was in the Whites, I was able to have the luxury of taking zeros to replenish my body, and I had good company. And the push through the long trail will eat your soul. It'll just eat your soul right up if you're pushing hard miles and you're running up against the sun going down, and it's just not the best way to enjoy the trail. So extremely grateful to have made it through that incredibly difficult section. I had a blast, even with how exhausted and tired I was, and how much I hurt. And that day in town in Johnson, which is an incredibly cool town, was much needed. Felt like such a great reward. And now I feel like I'm truly looking forward to these last few days on trail. I'm thinking positive thoughts again, and I'm not slipping on wet rocks every 10 seconds. So at least for this stretch of trail, I'm feeling pretty good. I do know that there is a section coming up here later today that people have compared to the Mahoosic Notch, which, if you're not familiar with the Mahoosic, is known to be the most difficult and time-consuming stretch on the Appalachian Trail, because it's just a bunch of boulders They've rolled down like into a notch, and you have to navigate them for just under a mile. So I think I have a very small version of that today coming up. So looking forward to that. Whoa. Summit of Laraway. That was a long climb, but worth it for the views. You can see down there all the fall colors starting to come in. I think this is a worthy lunch spot. I think I'm gonna stay. Butternut Mountain. Squashed it. Something I've noticed is that the further north I've gotten, the more folly it's gotten. Like, check out all these colors. I definitely think the right time to do this trail is the first week of October, when all of the Vermont glory of fall has like officially come in, but it's nice and cool still in early September, and you have a bit more daylight. So I think if I were to do this trail again in the future, I would do it in early October, and I would give myself more days to do it so that I could do lower mileage days, really enjoy myself, and really enjoy all of the fall colors.
All right, hello. I am here at the Spruce Ledge Shelter. Today was, sorry, my light is like not doing the thing I wanted to. Today was a like 18.5 mile day, I want to say, 19. Felt really, really good to finally be able to do bigger miles after slowing down so much over the last few days. So that was great. Feeling pretty accomplished today. The goal is to wake up early tomorrow and do 15 to Buchanan Mountain is my aim. I'm going to try and finish the trail on Monday so that I'm able to head to a hostel or hotel or whatever and shower and do laundry and stuff before flying home on Tuesday. So moving at a good pace, feeling better, body's feeling not so painful like it was the last couple of days. So mind, body, spirit are up, feeling good, and ready to pass out here at the shelter with Ducky, who's a new friend, who was tight with Mercury and Honky Tonk, who I was hanging out with yesterday, and then Captain Jack is here too, which is really cool. I met him in southern Maine, I want to say, but he also does YouTube, so we were talking about YouTube. Yeah, time to turn in now. Just gonna get cozy and try to pass out. Good night.
Good morning from the top of the Mount Belvedere Fire Tower. It is beautiful up here. You can start to see all of the fall colors coming in the valley. All the trees are looking so red and orange, which is amazing. Really, really beautiful. Last night I was at the Spruce Ledge shelter with Ducky and Captain Jack, and that was really, really fun. Getting to know them more. And I had met Captain Jack in southern Maine, so it was really cool to get to actually like talk to him instead of just in passing being like, "Hi, I watched your YouTube, goodbye." So that was really cool. He's a really awesome guy, really nice, interesting person, and Ducky's really cool too. This is her first through hike. She's from Vermont, so it was really awesome to have some social time with other hikers. And yeah, I'm up here on top of Mount Belvedere. This is like a 0.2 spur trail up here to the summit. 100% worth it. Really, really gorgeous. And today the plan is to do 16, but I'm going to stop up here and eat some lunch and then push on. Okay, I'm climbing Haystack Mountain right now, and today's one of those days where it is almost 4 o'clock. I hadn't even gone 10 miles. The trail got treacherous again, and my body is exhausted, absolutely gassed. I don't know. The hiker brain is bad. I feel like I'm having a lot of trouble like formulating coherent thoughts, and my thighs and my knees and my feet are all exhausted. I just feel like I'm in survival mode, and it's not dehydration. I'm drinking plenty of water. I've had electrolytes. I'm eating enough. My body's just gassed. So today I've got just under 5 miles-ish to get to Hazen's Notch shelter. I'll make today like a 13.7 mile day instead of pushing up to Buchanan like was the original plan, when I thought the trail might be a bit similar yesterday, which was really lovely and very flat. But Jack warned me that the trail was going to get difficult again. So I half expected this. Wasn't expecting to feel so crappy, but it's what it is. So I'm just going to toddle along up the trail, make it to the shelter when I make it to the shelter, and keep hydrated, and just focus on each step, making sure that I don't hurt myself, because I'm, moving too clumsily or anything like that. So yeah, I'm not going to make the Monday deadline, which is tomorrow, like I had hoped. But I'll just hike out on Tuesday. I'll hit the terminus Tuesday morning, and I won't have time to do laundry or shower or anything, but I don't know. I'll just take a shower in a bathroom at a gas station. Oy, okay. Onwards. All right, good evening. I'm at the Hazen's Notch shelter. I don't know, something like that. Really, really tough day today. It was just under 14 miles. Took me like 10 hours to do 14 miles. Was just crazy exhausted. And the terrain was like pretty tough. Had to stop and take a lot of breaks. I was moving pretty slow, and moving really slow on the downhills because my knees are in really rough shape. So just taking it easy and trying not to overdo it. Plan for tomorrow is to keep the mileage low again. I'm gonna do another 13. It's gonna be a rough 13 again. High 4,000s in elevation over 13 miles. That is like White's level elevation again, similar to today. So, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. When the hiking is rough, you gotta slow down. It just is what it is. Even if you're gonna finish and only be roughly 5 miles from the terminus. So anyway, hard 13 tomorrow over the Vermont roller coaster and Jay's Pass, and then we'll pass out at the Shooting Star shelter after a long day, and then wake up in the morning, hike up to the terminus on Tuesday, and then hike back to Jay's Pass where Peanut will pick me up, and I will go to the airport where I will take a gross hiker shower in the airport bathroom at Burlington. So sorry in advance to whoever has to sit next to me on the plane. But yeah, just ate a really big dinner. My pack is finally starting to feel lighter after my crazy resupply. And yeah, just watching some YouTube videos I'm about to turn in. Good night. Good morning. Good morning. I'm leaving Hazen's Notch camp right now. I slept in the shelter last night. It was, of course, full of mice running around all night long, hanging out with me, keeping me company. This morning I left right around 8. I was up, my alarm first went off at like 5. And I laid there feeling how tired my body was. And I said, I deserve more sleep. So I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again. And I said, you know what? I deserve a nice morning. Today is going to be hard. I have just about 5,000 feet of elevation gain in under 13 miles. And lots of climbs. I have the Vermont roller coaster today. And then I have Jay's Peak. So, you know what? I deserved to enjoy my morning because today is going to kick my ass. So, I had some coffee. I made coffee for the first time, and I can't even tell you. I've just been eating the coffee packets dry anytime I've been having coffee recently. So, I actually made coffee this morning, and I dipped some Belvita breakfast pumpkin spice crackers in there, and I had a Annie and Bo's like peanut butter bar and some Reese's Puffs. So I enjoyed my morning. No one can take that from me, not even me. Later today, when I am probably going to be in a bad mood, which is not an awesome way to set an intention for the day, but I think it's also important to be realistic. So preparing myself for a tough day, but it is what it is. I've got just about 11 hours of daylight today to knock it all out. Bing, bang, boom. I've survived harder. I will survive this. So right now, I am heading up to my first climb, which is Buchanan Mountain, and then I will go to Domey's Dome, and then some random third mountain, and then Jay's Peak, and then another one, and then down to the Shooting Star shelter tonight. And then in the morning, I will finish this dang trail. All right, just summited Buchanan Mountain. That is the first of the 3, the Vermont roller coaster down. And now we are on to Domey's Dome. Hey, what does a moose foot look like? Does it look like that? It doesn't look like a shoe. Chet's Lookout. It's a ladder on a rock. One in Rome. Ooh. I looked it up. That was a moose print. That was a big one. Not that I would know, because I've never flippin' seen a moose, but I have seen their feet. Summit number 2, Dummy Stone. Now, some of my favorite far out comments about dummies. All right. Gilpin Mountain. Just like that, I have crushed the Vermont roller coaster. Now it is on to Jay's Peak, and from there to the last mountain. Annie's Mountain? Maybe? I don't know. I'll correct that later. Alright, some quick thoughts on my morning video before I make my way all the way down this mountain. Starting the day off by saying that I'm going to be in a bad mood later has been something I've been thinking about all day, funnily enough, and I've had a pretty good start to the day today. My knees aren't killing me like they were at this same time yesterday. The hiking's actually been pretty nice. I think the trail surprised me in that regard, and obviously I'm not done with the day yet, but I think waking up in the morning and deciding that your day is going to suck is a really cruel thing to do to yourself, and I did that to myself this morning, and that was not fair of me. And ever since then, I think I've been in a mindset of, when is today going to start sucking? When is today going to start sucking? And that sucks. Not a cool thing to do to yourself, and I think that that is a lesson that applies not just in backpacking, but applies larger in life. When life is really hard and you wake up and you say today is going to suck, that sets your day up to suck. And I think that you just assume that your day is going to suck, but I think leaving room for the day to surprise you, it's just an easy mindset change that it can be hard when you're in the thick of it. And the last few days have really tested me mentally and physically. So when I woke up this morning and I was like, well, today's just going to be more of the same, that wasn't fair. So I'm feeling pretty good right now, but I just wanted to close out that statement of today is going to suck with today was not guaranteed to suck, and it still isn't. So with that in mind, let's continue. Trail magic. It's the first trail magic I've seen on trail so far. What do we got? Oh, it's a bunch of like sanitary items. Oh, that's nice of them. Okay, it is just about noon. I just stopped at the J Camp shelter down at the base of J Peak to eat lunch. Ran into a very nice man named Norm who is out for a 5-day section. Chatted with him. Now I am beginning today's biggest climb up to J Peak, which I believe will be my last spectacular views on the long trail. All right, this is Jay's Peak. It is absolutely beautiful up here. All of the reds and the oranges really coming in now. Looks so gorgeous. I can't even imagine what it's going to look like in a couple of weeks, but really is stunning now. It's cool to get the best of like the Green Mountains and New England in the fall. I think that is really lucky. But yeah, it is bonkers hot out here. I have an interesting heat rash going on in my armpits, so that was a fun discovery. But the cool thing about the J Peak Resort is that they have running water and bathrooms. So it was nice to go inside, cool off for a second, wash off my face, and reset. So I got some cold water here in the water bottle, and about to head down the mountain. Stopped off at the Laura Woodward shelter to eat a quick snack for climbing up Doll Peak, which will be my last climb today. Gonna grab some water, hang out. I only have 4 miles left for the whole day, and I can't really push beyond Shooting Star Shelter because I don't know anything about self-camping and there's no water beyond that, so I'll have to do that last push tomorrow morning is what it is. But yeah, it is crazy hot today, y'all. It is like so funny, honestly, because when I started almost 2 weeks ago, it was freezing weather. Like there was days where I was like, it's too cold for me to be out here. And now it's so hot. It's so hot I have heat rash. My backpack is all sweaty. It's just funny. The trail is funny. The second you're like, I have it figured out. Trail's like, psych, you don't. But also, just a statement, the weather has been so beautiful. I think I probably have one of the luckiest long trail runs of anybody ever. I've had like basically no rain. It's been absolutely gorgeous. The fall weather, or the fall leaves coming in, and it's been mostly mild the entire time I've been on trail and like a little bit hot. So I've been able to like just deal with the trail. It really hasn't been much of the elements. So I could take a couple of hot days, though it is in the 80s today. So I wish it was slightly less hot than that. But yeah, just gonna eat this beef steak and then push on. Okay. Here is Skyline. That's where I'm going. Okay. Let's go up the mountain. Oh, Dolls Peak. Done. Over. Finito. I did it. And now it is time to head down to the shelter. Only a couple miles left for the day, and then I can rest my weary head. I'm losing it, y'all. Big toad. Big frogman hopping away from me. Hates my song, but he's good at hopping. And here we are. The final shelter. The last shelter on my long trail journey. Today was a 4,700 feet of ascent, 4,600 feet of descent day. 12.7 miles. A lot for an under 13-mile day. Very happy to be here. Very happy to be here at 5 p.m. So I have the rest of the evening to hang out, make some dinner. There's a nice little bench here. And I'm hoping some other people show up. But if they don't, it is what it is. Kind of has been a theme of the through hike so far. So, you know, wouldn't be surprised if it was just me again. Yeah, excited to sit around. Gonna make some dinner. Gonna eat as much as I can while I still can. Make my pack nice and light for the final 6-ish miles tomorrow to Journey's End. Good morning. Let's go to Canada. All right. Sitting here in the shooting star shelter. I slept pretty good last night. This shelter only had a couple of mice as compared to all of the other lodges and shelters on the Long Trail, which are riddled with mice. Quiet evening. The full moon was shining right into the shelter as I was trying to go to bed, and that was really cool. And now this morning the sun is rising right over here and casting everything in this like beautiful golden light, and it's gorgeous. I had to sit down and had to have a cup of coffee. I'm going to talk about the Long Trail. This was really hard. It was a really hard hike for me. I found it really mentally taxing. I was extremely tired most days. And I think the biggest thing was that every day felt like a roller coaster. I'd have a really awesome day, and then the next day would be really hard. And then the next day would be awesome, and then the next day would be hard. And I would wake up and not know what the day had in store for me. I didn't really experience that on the Appalachian Trail. I thought that most days were good on the AT, and I was able to pretty consistently push mileage on the AT. Here on the Long Trail, it's like you'll randomly get a day where you can do 18 miles, or like the first stretch you can push really hard, and then in the middle you like can't push at all. And I found that really frustrating. But again, like that came with really beautiful views and really technical climbs and really just fun, difficult hiking. But this trail was scary in a lot of places. I found it really scary in a lot of areas. The descent down Camel's Hump, which was these big wet rock slabs, and the descent down Madonna's Peak, which was these huge jagged rocks and really steep for a very long time. And I felt like when I think about the Long Trail, I'm going to remember the descents because they were pretty brutal. And I feel like my knees never really recovered after Camel's Hump, which made the hike really hard for me. I think that the body was majorly impacting like my mental and my spiritual. But interestingly enough, I think as low as my mind, body, spirit was some days, I think it added to the whole experience. I thought it was really cool for this to be as hard as it was some days, and for me to never ever even consider quitting. I mean, there was a day 5 days ago where I was like, holy hell, I have 5 more days of this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. And I did. And there were some really, really hard days, but there were some really, really cool days. I loved my unexpected town day in Johnson. The 18 miles I pushed the other day to Spruce Ledge. That was a really fun day, like easy cruisy hiking. And then yesterday up to Jay's Peak, I knew it was going to be a tough 13 miles, but because I knew that, like I wasn't surprised. So when I was moving slow, I was still having fun climbing because I knew that it was fine. I had all the time in the world. So I think I figured it out right at the end. Of course. Yeah, that's how it goes. But I loved the Long Trail. I'm so happy I did this. This felt like, for me, the perfect personal send-off to the Appalachian Trail. I realized that that climb up Katahdin was so fun, like easily the best hike of the entire trail, that I wasn't ready to say goodbye to it. I got home and I was home for a couple of weeks and I was like, I can't say goodbye yet. I need to go back out there. and I'm really glad that I did. I got my ass kicked, and I saw some incredible stuff, and I had some really, really, really fun hiking. I didn't shower for 2 weeks. I ate a bunch of food. I met really cool people. I had a lot of solo time. I was like lonely a lot, and that felt really good. I'm finding it hard to get up and move because this is such like a beautiful place, and I'm ready to go home, but I'm not ready to leave. I didn't come out here looking for a really hard hike, to be honest. I definitely underestimated the long trail. I was like 60 miles a day, psh, I can do that. And there were definitely days I could not do that. But I came out here with the intention of reflecting on the AT and thinking about what comes next and all this big stuff. And I felt like I had no time to think and no energy to think. I was so in the moment, so present, so focused on the hike for the entire time. And it might not have been what I wanted, but I think it was what I needed. So watching the sun come up here, and sky is bright and blue, and in a second I'll get moving and I'll pack up all my stuff for the last time for a long time. Just thinking about how crazy this year has been. I'm just really grateful and sad and happy. Okay. I'm gonna pack up my stuff and I'm gonna go take a shower. Woohoo! It's my last climb up to Carlton Mountain. Let's go. Just like that. Carlton Mountain, last summit. It's all downhill from here. Let's go see Canada. And that's a wrap on the long trail. I dreamed of doing the long trail way before I ever dreamed of doing the UT. Very, very cool to be here. All right. Let's go home.